Hello people, so you can definitely tell after this chapter of Dragon Ball Super. First off, there are English translations. You guys know the drill. When a chapter comes out or it's leaked out, I kind of want to wait until the translations come out officially on Viz, so there's no controversy. So hope you guys understand that. What this chapter kind of reveals to me is it looks like we're heading into the final few chapters in the Moro arc. I don't know how many I have left, but that's the vibes you got. If anything else, it kind of goes to show you to appreciate these chapters even more, because we don't really know the status of the Dragon Ball Super anime, whether there's a part 2 or not. We don't really know for sure. We can speculate, but we don't really know, and we may never know, and it doesn't look likely in July, given everything we found out last week of the anime. So this is the only exposure to more new Dragon Ball content that we're possibly going to get. So, and something else I appreciate is the way that everything went down in this chapter. You see how epic it turns out, how everything seems better when a side character is given the spotlight like Boo was in this chapter, and how Goku and Vegeta were forced to sit on the sidelines. Like, you can actually cut the tension. Like, obviously you knew Goku and Vegeta are going to come back into the ball game, and that's what happens right in this chapter. But just imagine Gohan or Gotenks or even Piccolo or even future Trunks in Boo's role. And just find, and I'm not the biggest Gohan fan, but you have to admit how much more entertaining these arcs would actually be if side characters were given the spotlight like Boo was. Like, he was beating the hell out of Moro in this chapter, and the only reason he was able to dip and get the advantage is because of the wish. But we knew that was going to happen. Future Trunks is the very last example of a side character getting a well-needed, deserved spotlight, a moment to shine, in an arc during the Goku Black and Zamasu arc, when he actually cut it up to fuse Zamasu's body, but it was Zeno end up erasing that universe. I mean, you can make your arguments, but Trunks was given that spotlight, so Trunks is really the last example of a character like this given the spotlight. So I like this chapter for that very reason alone. Now, the way the chapter started off with Boo just wrecking the hell out of Moro trying to avoid being turned into candy by the antenna of Boo, and I'm pinning Moro to the ground, kind of like he did with the Supreme Cat, and then just beating the hell out of. These were great callbacks with Boo fights, by the way, with Boo pinning down Moro, beating the snot out of Moro like he did to a Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta on the sidelines cheering like cheerleaders. Boo's like, "Yeah, you can do it, Boo. Keep it up." Like, Boo's giving Moro a hard time, not just because of the fact that he can nullify the energy absorption stuff. Moro just getting an energy blast right in Boo's head and takes his head off, but we know how Boo's body works. It was kind of hilarious how when his head was severed, he had his head in his hand, kind of like a troll to Moro. He's acting like Boo, but the mentality is of the Kaio, the Grand Supreme Kai. So I love how that combination works, because as it is pointed out in this chapter, it seems like Boo is at his full potential in this type of state. So I love that, because we don't get to see very many Boo fights, and when we have, and this is the thing that a lot of people wanted to see from Boo in Dragon Ball Super from the get-go. In the Universe 6 arc, it was a complete joke. It was a side note. The only fight we got to see him in was against Basil, and he treated that as a joke until the end when he got serious because of Mr. Satan. But other than that, we haven't seen Boo do anything. And what would he have done if he was in the Tournament of Power? It's not the fact that Frieza was the one that substituted for Boo. It was the fact that Boo had to be the one to step aside for Frieza. So why couldn't it have been one of the weaker ones like Master Roshi, Krillin, or Tien? Did any of them matter in the Tournament of Power? No. So I think giving that spot to Boo would have been kind of cool. But I think this chapter was a prime teller of Boo being too broken. He would have been way too complex in the Tournament of Power. So to make things simple, they decided to keep Boo out of it. So I guess Mirrors kind of acknowledges the fact that Boo should be this strong, technically speaking, but it could be to do with the Great Lord of Lords, with the mindset inside Boo, because he was hypnotized somehow. So like I said, he could teach Goku and Vegeta these techniques given his mentality. My favorite attack from Boo in this sequence is when he's like Moro gets pissed off. He's just like yelling out like, if I only had my magic restored, you'd be nothing but an insect, making excuses. It reminds me of Cell when he was bitching about Vegeta, whooping his ass. If only I had 118 to absorb, you'd be nothing. So he was bitching the same way. Oh, you suck. I love this throwback. So you suck. You're making excuses now. For a weakling compared to me. The shade thrown people, the shade thrown by Majin Buu. So you'll his arms, it looks like multiple arms. He's pulling like Luffy, like Gama Gama no Gatling. Because of his body. So I thought, oh, he's going to use a Gatling. So he just pounds the snot out of. And then Mirror's like, yo, end this already. Let's use the technique what worked upon. I guess it's to seal the rest of Moro's magic because he used his severed arms to like pin down Moro, which is kind of intelligent for Buu. He can use the flashback to seal most of Moro's magic, but he's going to seal all of it until the sky goes black. And here's the twist. And you know what that means. It means Porunga's been summoned, the Dragon of Namek, and Goku, Vegeta, Miras, and everybody else notices, including Moro. We see Porunga again, so that was kind of cool. And we know he grants 3 wishes. We see a bunch of Namekians, including Moro, the eldest Namek, come down. Looks like he's dead by the end of this thing, but if he's like the eldest Namek, the guardian of the Dragon Balls, right? That makes no sense because if he was dead, then Porunga would technically be dead as well. So Eska, I guess the kid Namek, the Namekian that Vegeta saved, he has like this head device where I guess he was able to communicate the language of Namek to, I guess, Cranberry. And he's just blackmailing Eska to do all this because if he didn't, he was going to kill the Namekians. Again, if that would involve Moro, it makes no sense because he's the guardian of the Dragon Balls. Because if he dies, the Dragon Balls die with him. We know that. So he could have messed up big time with this. So the first wish was to restore his injuries, which was a stupid wish because it turned out to be a wasted one. And I always thought one of the wishes was going to be used to like bring all the Namekians back to life. It would have been so much poetic justice, but it looks like they're going to have to use the Earth's Dragon Balls in this case because all 3 wishes got used up. So it's something to betray Moro, but Moro's like, you better not betray me because if you do, I'll hunt you down. So this is where he gets dumb. This is where he wishes for Moro's magic to finally be restored. We knew this was going to happen. I wondered how things were going to turn itself around. It kind of got confirmed in the previous chapter because there's no reason to highlight the Dragon Balls being gathered if they're not going to be used. Vegeta did say in the previous chapter, if we do make it out of this, to wish all the Namekians back to life, but they're going to have to use the Earth Dragon Balls now. They're aware of what's going on. They're trying to stop Cranberry before he does anything else, before the second wish comes to fruition. So Moro's like, you better hurry up because Goku and Vegeta coming your way. Already been granted. Moro's back to his old self. You see this. Vegeta and Goku notice the key, and then you see this blast of energy, and then Moro just dips. He dips, and he shoots down, I guess, like a meteor, right? And then Cranberry's about to use the 3rd wish, I do believe. But that's when we knew what was going to happen. He gets impaled by Moro from behind. Betrayed, we knew this was coming. In fact, I said it myself. The moment the Cranberry said to Moro, the Dragon of Namek grants 3 wishes, I knew what was going to happen. But Cranberry said he's going to use a wish for himself, but there's 2 other wishes. We know what Moro wanted with one of them. So this is where the backstabbing comes in, so I knew that was going to happen. Turns out he gets stabbed, he gets impaled. We don't know what the 3rd wish was. All we know is Moro made it, and the Dragon Porunga's like, very well, your wish is granted, and dips. 3 wishes have been granted. So Goku Vegeta did not make a wish. Moro did, but we don't know what it is. And I love that because it's the intrigue. It could be the trump card of what happens in the next chapter because why couldn't Buu just fly right after him? Not for nothing, but dip. And he's also hiding his energy because he realizes that I'm guessing he has to absorb or eat the life energy of all of the Namekians. Why he has to hide his ki, I don't know. But unless he feels inferior to Goku and Vegeta, even in this state. But I don't think so. So something else is up. So he has to be buying time for whatever that 3rd wish was to take place. I kind of forgot a little bit that Buu has the ability to heal people because we've seen this before in Dragon Ball Z. But Eska, but he says he can't heal up the rest. I guess Moro and the other Namekians, because they've been injured, either they're dead or they're just beyond repair at this point. So, like I said, that could have ended horribly for Moro if Moro technically died before Porunga was summoned, because that would have led to nowhere. Because that happened on Namek before Vegeta got his wish granted. Anything, it's a convenient way of ending this arc on Planet Namek. So there's no chance at all of this arc going anywhere else, not on Earth, not anywhere else in Universe 7. He just touches Goku and Vegeta like Naruto Jesus, just heals up Goku and Vegeta. Their energy's been replenished. So I knew something had to happen. I just didn't think it was going to be Boo. I forgot all about the healing abilities. So the fact that he restored Goku and Vegeta's energy, it is a plot device, but I don't know where this is going to lead to, considering the fact that Moro was decimating Goku and Vegeta even before he knew Goku and Vegeta, and I love that because it gives Boo something to do. He's not being pushed to the side, and right out of nowhere, Boo switches places with the Great Lord of Lords, Daikaio. So, and according to what Boo says, or Daikaio says, he can trade places with Boo. So now he's in the appearance of Majin Buu. So Great Lord of Lords is actually pep talking Goku and Vegeta. We need to hurry and make it to Moro's at. There's still time before he's able to absorb the rest of the energy on Namek. So that's just time to keep this on Namek, like I mentioned. He uses this as a transmission with Buu and Vegeta, and that's the end of the chapter. And we'll have to wait an entire month to find out what that second and last wish was on the part of Moro. Like I said, it has to be something to even out the playing field. The fact that Moro's got his magic restored, that's going to be a problem. Because we knew how he was beforehand, and now Moro, if he manages to absorb more energy, he's going to be a huge problem, not just for Goku and Vegeta, but also for Buu. Unless he can... The only thing I can think of taking Goku and Vegeta with Buu is if he can teach Goku and Vegeta, and I mentioned this in my previous chapter review, how I can teach them to be immune to the energy absorption technique of Moro. It's the only thing that makes sense, because there's no reason if he didn't think it was going to lead to something. So if it's going to lead to the same old stick with Moro absorbing Goku and Vegeta's energy, that won't get them anywhere. So they have to come up with a way of nullifying that. Maybe it has to do with fusion. I said this in my previous review, the only thing that makes sense, because I don't see them matching up physically tomorrow. I mean, Buu may end up get blown away, and it could end up to Goku and Vegeta. And the fact that I say it's fusion, because Vegeta's been given a role with a huge character development in this arc, could lead to Vegeta having a role in the defeat of Moro. I don't see Vegeta alone being the one to finish off Moro. So the only thing that makes sense is a fusion technique, because they don't have any Pataras around. The energy's been restored. So that's the only thing that makes sense at this point. I don't know if that's going to be the case. We'll have to wait and see and find out. Those are my thoughts. Please tell me yours in the comments. That's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like this review if you did. Subscribe to have more Dragon Ball Super. Catch you guys later. Thanks, guys. Bye.